Hello and welcome. Welcome to our research and publication webinar series. This session is organized by Intellectual Committee at Morgan State University, Maryland, in collaboration with the Graduate Student Association and Open Journals in Education at the Star Scholars Network. This session is designed to build a network of professionals in the research publication process, as well as to help early career professional and doctoral student become a successful reviewer of a scientific journal. In a few minutes, you will have an opportunity to interact with our journal editors, professor, and expert reviewers. So if you look in my agenda, it's more about the publication process, review process, and the interaction with the colleagues. And also let me acknowledge my senior editors who have been the role models and mentors in our publication communities, including Dr. Rosalind Raby, Editor-in-Chief from Journal of Comparative and International Education, Higher Ed, Dr. Chris Glass from Journal of International Student, Dr. Uttam Gaulee from Underrepresented and Minority Progress, Dr. Peggy from Higher Ed, Politics and Economics, Dr. Josh from the School Administration, Research and Development, Dr. Amany Saleh from Journal of Interdisciplinary Studies in Education, Dr. Sharma from Multidisciplinary Perspective, Dr. Limbu from Global Literacy, and myself in the Routledge Student Mobility Series. And there are 15 journals in our network in the OJED. Some of them are on the different platforms, but they are all under the same umbrella. And also we have partnered with the Routledge, so you can see all the images of our logo right there. Okay, and then you may not believe every year we deal more than 2,000 manuscript. So handling more than 2,000 manuscript is a lot of work. It's a very daunting job, and our editors alone cannot do it. There are lots of folks who help us. So the real gatekeeper to maintain the quality and the rigor of our journals and the book projects are our reviewers. So we always acknowledge our reviewers. Our editors understand the critical role played by the reviewers in advancing science and scholarship. We also reward our top reviewers with the Editor's Choice Award every year. In a few minutes, you will learn how to write an effective review that will help our editors and the authors. If you are new in the field, please ask questions to our editors about how to become a better reviewers over time. And let me so before that, I'd like to do a breakout session here so we can introduce ourselves and you can share your latest publication and peer reviewing experience, and you can interact with your editors or the published author regarding your experience. So we'll take about 5 minutes. So let me open the breakout session and then choose the group that you see on your screen, and then introduce yourself and interact with them.
Okay, so I'm Petronella. I'm in the School of Engineering and in the EE department. I had a recent publication to the American Society of Engineering Educators, and I do peer review. Articles and journal reviews for them. Each year, and mm, I mean, that's really been my only experience doing reviews. So I'm interested to be in this session just to see what else I can where I can explore and get some additional information. But yeah,
All right, great,
thank you.
great. Anyone else?
Yes, here is my name is Fatima Nafa. I'm from like Salem State University, United States. I recently started reviewing with Elsevier journal. Um, it like is not heavy work. You can manage it, and it is good experience for you to know, especially for your research area. You will be up to date with other people working in it, and you can like share your feedback to improve their work, or like share some idea with them. And in the future probably you will start collaborating with them. So it is good experience for you guys. I just started and I joined this session to see, probably I will participate in another journal to be a reviewer. I did reviewing for conferences and session organizer for like 2 conferences. It is good experience for your research to be up to date and share with the other people in academia your research and your idea. So it's interesting and I'm enjoying doing that. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. 30, we have still 30, 60 seconds, almost a minute. Somebody wants to volunteer? Unmute and tell us if you want to share something.
Oh, do. My name is Majida Murdoch, and I'm with the physics department at Morgan. And I've been working as an editor with the National Science Teachers Association and reading articles for them, editing for them. And I just want to expand my, learn more, that's all.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. My name is Felicia Chenier. I'm a grad student at Morgan State. I'm the Community College Leadership Development Program. I do have somewhat of experience publishing through African American National Biography. I've also published with an education journal. I'm looking forward to learning a bit more about this process.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. So I am bringing back all of our guests. I guess the rooms are closed by now. Oh, still we have 100, 10 guests we have here. So this is a short experience. I know, the time is not enough for many of you to tell or share your experience related to publication or the peer review process. So let me quickly run a poll and see how many of you had a chance to interact with your colleagues. Do you see something on the screen?
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, please select the option that you you have. Which one of the following positions are interested in you, your interest? Let us know whether you are interested to become a peer reviewer or assistant associate editors or the author of the monograph. Please take your time. I can see lots of, responses come in.
can we choose more than one
Please,
choice
yeah,
or?
yeah, choose more than one.
Okay.
Yes. All right. I am taking, you have another 30, 20, no, 20 seconds for that. All right. And this is the option to let you know all who are here as a published author, editors, they are my panelists, and you will have an interaction with them in a few minutes. It's a very open invitation. All right, so let's put the poll here and share the results. Can you see on my screen? So we have 87% interested to become a peer reviewers. Welcome on board. You will be receiving the guidelines how to do this responsibility. Yes, we consider peer reviewers as the most important pillar of the publication process, as I said earlier. And we have 42% to become an assistant or associate editor. Yes, we have a big platform, Open Journals in Education, and many journals are coming, are also interested to join our platform. So definitely we'll be in touch with you. So in the rest of these hours, you will have a chance to interact with our editor and associate editors who are in the room today. So we have invited roughly 25 editors and the experienced reviewers. Again, you will have another session. Another few minutes, couple of breakout sessions to have interaction with each other. Okay, so let me continue sharing my screen here. Probably you can see something, right? Okay, so after this breakout session, Probably you can see something on my screen. The publication process. This is the most challenging for many of us, whether you are experienced author or the beginners. All of us go through a journey. The journey looks like this. We start here from the submission, and you can see the 3 rejects and here the other one. So there are 4 chances of your manuscript being rejected and the 1 chance being accepted. So you have that many gates for your article being rejected. So once you submit your manuscript, it goes to the peer review process. Usually, normally 2 or 3 reviewers review manuscript. They provide their feedback, and then the editors, read all of them and make their decision either to reject or accept. The very first one, when it comes to the journal portal, there is a managing editor, and managing editor will make a decision where to forward to the reviewer or assign to the associate editors, or desk rejection. We also call desk rejection at the very first. Then after peer review process, which takes somewhere from 6 weeks to even 6 months or longer, depending on the journals, the number of entries we receive. Then most of the times, the author received a revision, decision. You revise. Here are the suggestion of the reviewers, and then make revision, and then it will go for the second round of the peer review, or the editors and the reviewer will, take a look again, and they will issue an acceptance letter for you. And after, the manuscript being accepted, it takes another few months to go to the publication process, because there are lots of steps, including copy editing, proofreading, layout, and then schedule for the print and online edition. The entire process from the submission to publication takes somewhere from 6 months to even 2 years. Many journals in our field, in my field, takes somewhere a year to 2 years. Even I had to wait for 2 years for 2 or 3 manuscript that I published before. Very daunting, challenging, tedious process. But this is the one of the ways to get success. And you are in a good hand. And this morning, afternoon, depending on your time zone, you will have a chance to interact with our editors and reviewers in a few minutes. Okay, so the first thing first, when you decide to write something for any journals, just take a look, few items, few places, such as the aims and scope of the journal. And please mute your microphone. I sincerely request all of you to mute when we are not speaking. So always go through the some of the information area of the journal, look into their aims and scope. This is just a paragraph, and then guidelines of how to submit a manuscript. This is one of the well-established journal in my field. So depending on your field, you make a list of the journals and their impact factors, and also the other requirement. And here is the other Journal of International Student, the one of the flagship journal in our open journal system. And we have highlighted our aims and scope here. Editorial board, you can definitely contact them. When you click editorial board, you will see all our reviewers and editors, and also look into the the author's guidelines, and then take a look some example of published article, what they look like. And there is a search button, and remember, there are definitely 1 or 2 articles in the area of your interest. We have published roughly 1,000 articles in the field, in this case, in this journal, and across all journals, we have a lot there. So, and this is another journal, Comparative and International Higher Ed, and the editor, Dr. Raby, is here. Dr. Bernhard is here. You can definitely have a conversation with them. And the publication process, the first thing, start with the venue, which journal is appropriate considering your manuscript, and also look into the types of manuscript that they are publishing. We publish, research article, non-research essays, research brief, book reviews, all kind of manuscript. But all journals have a different expectation, different guidelines about the publication, and also steps. The steps, as I said earlier, peer reviewing, revision, lots of revision, and copy editing, those things. However, you will get a lot of rejection. Rejection is a normal part of publication process. Do not get afraid. Do not get scared with your manuscript being rejected. The rejection is a good thing. At least you get feedback. They are telling us something to make change for the next round. So I love rejection. That's how I grew in the field. Otherwise, I would not be here today if my manuscript were not rejected. Still, I get lots of rejection, which is good. Every rejections come with a golden nugget of the feedback from reviewers. So where do you publish? That's a challenge for many of us. There are many journals in the field. I am in education. In education, we have 6,000 plus journals, and this is very difficult to choose. Depending on your engineering, mathematics, business, you have 100,000 journals there. So again, look the topic, review process, in the readership, and then time. The time again depends on journal to journal. Some journal publish right to tomorrow. You turn in today, they publish tomorrow. And make sure to avoid these blacklist journal, predatory journals, untrustworthy journals in your field. How do we know? I have listed 5 points, 5 indicators, and there may be more than that. Again, there are more than 3,000 journals, even in education. So they brag about their journals. They talk about the false claim about their metrics. They scoop us, and yes, they promise you the fast publication, sometimes a week or so, which is not possible for me, from my personal experience, to publish something in a week. And they definitely charge a fee. Fee is some sort of normal thing nowadays, but make sure that they are charging whether 5,000 or 300 or $50. So look into those, and then also the false claims. There are lots of ways to look into these kind of untrustworthy journal or predatory journals. So this is something you will be speaking with my panelist or with my guest in another breakout session. Okay, so it's a time for the second breakout session. I know you have lots of questions, so we go back to breakout session. This time, let me recreate a different session. And this time, definitely, you will have lots of good questions and interaction with the with our editors and experienced reviewers. So rooms are open. I guess you can see on your screen. Happening? Yes. Okay. All right, it's taking slow space, but definitely you will get a chance to interact with somebody new from whom you spoke earlier. Sharif?
Yes,
And colleagues, please choose the room that you can see on the screen, or if you are staying here, please feel free to share your experience. The question is, what does your experience look like? Or if you have a questions related to peer review process or anything that I shared the information, feel free to ask. Yeah, unmute microphone.
I was bounced back in. How do I get back into my breakout room, please? Or do I just stay here?
Jackson, let me see. You can stay here.
Okay. Hi,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes, Dr. Jackson, you can share your experience. Let's start from you.
Okay, well, I'm not doctor yet. I am a doctoral student at Morgan State University in the psychometrics program. I'm interested in all things measurement and assessment. I am currently working on a manuscript for publication using Roche methods to analyze differential item functioning, but I haven't published anything yet. My only experience with the peer review process is working with AERA as a student reviewer for conference proposals. So I'm excited to learn as much as I can from this presentation and put that to good use. Thank you.
That's great. Any other? You guys are quiet, unmute and tell us any questions you have regarding the publications. I am the editor of a couple of journals, so I can answer probably some questions.
Well, could you elaborate a little bit more about predatory journals? I haven't heard of those. I have heard of the impact factor, but not the predatory journals.
Yes, these are the journals in the field. There are many. Usually, as I said earlier, they charge a heavy fee, and then also, these are not well received by the colleagues in the field. For example, you publish article in one of those journals, and then later on your committee, tenure committee, promotion committee will not like that. And their quality are not high. The quality and rigor of those publications are really poor. Yes, these are just the publication mill. Just they charge money, and then then you are in trouble. So best thing is check with your professors, mentors. They know the journals in the field.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other? Looks like still I have here 15 colleagues. I really wanted you to send to the group. I'm also monitoring each chat room. No other questions? Very quiet, very successful, huh?
I'm gonna try to go. I think there's a, is there a way to send me back to the room or just?
You select the room, any room that you want to go.
Okay, I see something that says breakout rooms. I should just click on that?
Yeah, just click on the breakout room. Yeah, right. For
Okay.
all of you on the screen, I see here 15, please select the breakout room, right? You'll get a golden tips of the nugget of the ideas from the colleagues.
Uttam, working in physics department. So I'm very happy to know that here we have a seminar on the review, how to do a review. And for me, I review a lot of papers for maybe over 40 journals. So I know some of their skills and what's their requirement, how to review. But for different journals, they have different policies. But for me, most time I work on research. Therefore, when I was the reviewer, most of the time I just judge the scientific parts, like what's the quality of the research. Is new or old? Is a copy other or have a individual, very novel or a new method or new result? Yeah, I just judge quality of their research.
Okay, makes
sense. Yeah, and from here I give the evaluations. And other parts, somebody also talk about the format of the papers. I know format is very important, but this part, I believe the authors, they already know how to format their papers. And the publisher, they also ask the author to follow. So usually for me, I don't care too much of the format. I only tell them if the format's not match their journals, maybe I just tell them, okay, please change it in the outside. Yeah, this is my opinion how to be a review.
That's great. I hope you enjoyed the small breakout session. At least have your say on the experience of the journals. So I like to request all of you using in the chat room to answer this question, type the name of the journals where you would like to publish your article or essay. Just, you know, type the name of the journal that you would like to publish, or any journals that you are interested or that you think these are the important journals in your field. So in the next round of the sessions, we are looking into peer review process. This is the focus of this morning's session. So here in the peer review process, here are the few indicators why you are interested to become a peer reviewer. The motivation is very personal. It's just increasing the knowledge. You are the scholar in the field. You like to know what's happening. You like to be in touch with the authors, and then also expand your personal professional relationship as a scholar in the field. And also when you review, you can list those journals on your CV, on your resume, and that those things are the part of the service, and they count. If you are professors, if you are a big want to be a professor, it's definitely they count as a part of your service. So for the knowledge, to build the relationship, and to list them on the CV, these are the basic motivation to become a reviewers. And then the tips here you can see on my screen. The accept the review invitation if you find the time to do so. You may need an hour or so, depending on the type of manuscript. It may take 1 hour or maybe 2 hours to read and evaluate it. If you are super busy, if your time does not allow, please immediately decline the invitation, so that as an editor, I can assign it to the another reviewers. Do not wait the last minute to decline the invitation, and then do not email editors in the last minute saying, after waiting 2 months, and you are emailing back to editors saying, I am busy, sorry, I cannot review it. If you are busy, just tell us, no, let us know. This is the best thing. And if you have doubts about the data analysis, citation, or anything about the manuscript you are reviewing, you are assigned, do not share a copy with others. We are required to have a confidential, this information. So the only person you can connect or communicate regarding the, anything, any red flags of the manuscript is your editors. And our journals are blind review, and we like to maintain the confidentiality of the authors. So you are the reviewers. Do not post on any social media or upload anywhere else. So the best thing, the only tips, advice is, I know we are super busy. You might be receiving too many invitation from us. As soon as you are available, your time allows, for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, go ahead and accept. Otherwise, do not accept the invitation, because this will help us to find another reviewers and move the review process fast. We really want our authors happy, and also reviewers happy, to understand the situation. All right, thank you. And the next thing is, these are the areas to pay super attention when you are reviewing a manuscript. If you are new in the field, again, we'll have another breakout session, and you will learn from our editors and the experienced reviewers. We like to have your comment on the title, abstract, overall language, clarity, research method the author have used, either qual or quant or mixed method. You don't have to be the expert on every single component of the manuscript. If you are good in the language, you can talk about the language. If you are a research person, just tell us, what was the research used and how you see it appropriate or inappropriate for that particular manuscript you are reviewing. If you are a qualitative researcher, do not worry too much about the statistical analysis. As long as you provide us the overall your feedback, then that's perfect. And then we also ask reviewers, to have your profile updated on our portal of the review portal. Put your contact information, your area of interest, so that as an editors, as an editor, I will be able to match your interest with the manuscript that we receive. As I said earlier, we receive over 2,000 manuscripts across our journals. So so when we have a reviewers with their interest aligned, that will definitely help us. So here is also another tips for you. As a reviewers, it's important that you provide as much detail as you can. It doesn't mean we are asking you to write 5 pages, detailed responses, maybe 1 page, that's perfect. And provide the constructive feedback rather than saying this is, the boring manuscript. Tell us why and how the author can make this article, improve, how he or she can improve those, areas. If the research method is not clear, then tell us why it was not clear. Was it about the instrument? Was it about the data analysis? Or was it about the number of participants? So your honest and frank, feedback will help authors and the editors to make a good decision, timely decision. All right. Um, and if you have a questions, definitely we will have discussion in a few minutes. All right. And then we also we recognize our editors. We started this from the Journal of International Students, giving Editors' Choice Award and Excellence in Peer Review Award. Dr. Chris Glass is taking a lead role, having this initiative across all of our journals. So we have an internal system to evaluate every single reviewers. We have a secret magic there, and that will let us know who have reviewed number of manuscript as well as the quality of reviews that we receive in. So please, make sure that your work is not, ignored. We definitely want to recognize you and provide the certificates as well. That will help for your tenure and promotion as well as the other, professional development. All right, then some of our journals are already listed in many of the databases. A few journals are working towards to list in the Web of Science and Scopus, and definitely, all articles are available in Google Scholars and many of the databases, including Eric and other platform. So this is the time to have another breakout session. Again, you will get a chance to interact somebody new this time, and then you will share your experience as well as you can ask any questions related to publication or peer review process. This time probably will take more than 5 minutes. And in your room this time you will have more people. So let me create a room with 15 or so. So let me open the room. And please accept the breakout room on that you see on your screen. Thank you. All right, select the option available on your screen. And those who are not able to go to breakout session with the technical difficulties, you can stay here. And now is the time you can ask questions to me. I'm here. Hi, Dr. Saleh. You're mute.
Okay, how are you,
Good,
Chris?
good. Was the conversation helpful?
Yes, it just
Not long. It's quite short.
it's quite short. By the time we do introduction, we don't have enough time to answer any questions.
Yes, that's happened to mine too. Probably toward the end, we'll have a group session rather than breakout so that everyone will be on the same page.
Okay.
Yes, I am waiting another 5 seconds. So everyone when everyone comes back, we'll start.
Hello, Dr. Bista.
Hello, Dr. Moon. So good.
Hello, Dr. Saleh.
Hi.
You're board member, so editorial board review board member.
Yeah.
I haven't received any question after 2019. I stopped the reviewing process. Please use me.
Sure, you will hear from us. Right, definitely. All right, welcome back. We'll take a few more minutes to run some other information. In the chat room, please continue if you have a questions for any of the editors. So the editor will be answering all of your questions. So again, please use chat room to ask the questions to any of our editors, book editors, and then published author. And then I'm highlighting a couple of special issues that we ran across all of our journals. We do special issues, so please review them in Open Journal System, OJED.org. Here are the few examples. We did the SOCA approaches in education, special issues in the Journal of Interdisciplinary Studies, Bahasa Indonesia. This is completely different language, Bahasa Indonesia, and the editor of this issue is also with us this morning. And also we did the Chinese. Every single article are written in Chinese. So this is also something we are doing. So do not worry too much, thinking that you are having some, difficulties writing in English. We also published non-English articles. So this is the expansion of bilingual approach in our journals. And if you are interested to launch or to, lead the non-English edition in your language, please let us know. We'll work toward, sometime next year or so. Also, we have the contract with this big publishing house, so you can see a few titles on the way, and these are the books we have in the pipeline. Roughly 10 or 15 books are coming in collaboration with our Open Journals in Education and Star Scholars Network. And if you have a questions, if you still want to submit something, let us know. We are very open. Then these are our partner association, including the STAR Network, Euro Students, CIES, Special Interest Group in the Study Abroad and International Student, World Council, Gateway International. These are our partners. And also we sent out our Global Connection newsletter to at least 17,000 people across the globe. And then these are our page views every year. They are different. They are increasing at least twice every year. And also here you can see on my screen the name of the journals. I hope some of you had a chance to interact with the editor, founding editor of these journals, and then we'll have a follow-up questions in a few minutes. This is the first book we published from our series. So in any of our books, you will see the logo of these institutions. So Routledge this is the first book, and this is something we were able to do recently. So my colleague Suzanne and I, happened to complete this first book project. And Suzanne was doctoral student when I met. So doctoral students are potential for any of these book projects. Please collaborate with your professors, with any editors. Dr. Saleh and I remember our conference in Mexico City in 2018. That's where I met Suzanne and we talk about the book project. So please feel free to reach out your ideas. We are very open. And the STAR is organizing a large-scale conference December 6th. It's 11 o'clock. December 6, 7, 8. And December 8 is the evening. December 8, we are honoring Noam Chomsky, and he's our guest speaker. Those who are interested in linguistic, please feel free to join. I will be sending you the link how to join. This is a virtual one and free for all the scholars. Now let's open for the discussion. I know you have a very interesting questions waiting for us. So in next couple of minutes, we will take questions. Any questions is good question. And we have editors, reviewers, authors in the room, and we take questions, please.
I have a quick one. When I get invitations to review, I do tend to answer immediately. However, did I hear you say that you give them a time frame of 2 hours? Maybe I misheard.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Dale. Appreciate. What we do is usually we give a reviewer 6 weeks to review a manuscript. However, earlier I was telling our guest that it may take about an hour or 2 hours for you to read and submit your evaluation. So there is a checklist, there is a rubric that comes along with any manuscript that you are assigned to review. So if you are available to spend 60 minutes or 120 minutes, please accept our invitation. It's a time consuming. Sometimes, you love the article that you are assigned, and it may take shorter. So if you can set aside at least 60 minutes for the article that we assign, please go ahead and accept our invitation. If you are busy, you can, again, we'll be sending those invitations. So it doesn't mean, rejection means you stop receiving.
No, I guess I got my question. I didn't communicate clearly. How your reviewers, what do you tell them about responding to your initial request? That's the question I have.
Yes, in the initial invitation, we send the name of the manuscript, abstract of the manuscript, and also we tell the time when they have to click to accept our invitation, or otherwise the system automatically will take it out.
Right. And so what is that time frame is all I'm asking.
I think it's 6 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to accept the invitation and another 4 weeks to review it.
Got it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good question. Thank you, Dr. Newsom-Horst. Okay, the other question, please. Unmute your microphone and feel free to ask question.
A question.
Okay, go ahead. I just want to make a comment. I just kind of go in and look for the review schedule that's stated in the whole packet. And so that gives you specific information. This one I have, it says editor's request, this October the 11th, response due date, okay, October 18th, and then the review due date is November 22nd. So you do get a timeline.
Yes, there is a timestamp.
That helps.
Over to you, Molly.
Thank you. I just some clarification about fees. Can you talk more about that?
Dr. Saleh or Sarif?
In our OJED platform, we do not take any fee. Dr. Saleh can give the best answer.
We do not take any fees for our journal.
We don't either.
Yes.
I think no journal in OJED platform charge any fee.
That's right. We do not have a fee for submission or publication in our platform. Right now, we are in a total 15 titles we have, and they are based on public research university. Although OJED is a platform, but they have a institutional support run by every single public institution. So right now, we do not have a fees. We do have a few journals approaching to us, and we are negotiating their publication fee. And we are not really honoring any journals with the high, publication fees. However, this is a norm. It is acceptable in many of the business or other, science-related journals. There is a fee, and which is accepted process. Great question. Thank you. We'd like to hear more questions.
And I think, Dr. Bista, we do not give access to ICI to our journal, our articles that we publish, because they charge fee, because our published articles also free in Google Scholar and Eric. Everywhere it is free.
Right. We are open access, meaning anytime, anywhere you can download. All right.
Dr. Bista, I wanted to say that I'm answering questions in the chat, so we won't be talking over each other. So a couple of people ask questions. I answer to the best of my abilities in the chat.
Go ahead, Masha.
Yes, please.
So I have a question. You said that the time frame you suggest for the reviewers is between 1 and 2 hours. And it's been my experience over years and years that sometimes the content of the article or the length of the article dictates a much longer time frame.
And you cannot determine that simply from an abstract. So do you have any way of communicating with your invited reviewers that to give it a proper review? I mean, if you tell them 1 or 2 hours, then they will fit 1 or 2 hours, but that may not be a proper or fair review for a particular article. So do you give them any feedback that suggests that there's a variable amount of time for doing that?
Professor Morgan has raised a good question here. Yes, that's the reality. Reality bites. Depending on our experience, many of us are experienced and we know where to look into. But simply, as Professor Morgan said, do not, Moran said, do not make a decision based on abstracts. Depending on your area of expertise, let's say you are expert in research methods, just take a look those areas. If you are not linguistic, if you are not comfortable about pointing out the grammars and other things, the another reviewers will take a look. Since we know we pair with at least 2 or 3 reviewers, that's how we match. And we are not expecting you to spend times looking into statistical analysis and getting knowledge yourself. So I think it's fair to say somewhere 1 hour or 2 hours to provide your fair evaluation. But yes, for the new reviewers, sometimes it may take more than that. And if you do not like the article that we assign, let us know. So we assign you another articles. And simply do not make your recommendation something accept or revise. Tell us why to accept or why to revise. Those things will help us to make decision very well. I see another question in the room. Can you tell us about the copy editing process? All of our journals do have a set of copy editors. Copy editors are the proofreader, in other words, but they provide more than that. If the copy editors did not like, or if there are red flags, even the research method something, they often consult with us. Some journals have a paid copy editors, some have a volunteer copy editors. Depending on our financial structures, many of our copy editors are volunteers. In fact, all members in the journals are volunteer. And they take time to copy edit, and then copy editors share the edits with the author. And Dr. Raby and Dr. Saleh or any of our editorial board, we have a few copy editors. If you want to share your experience, please unmute and chime in.
Dr. Question. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Dr. Acharya, you have a question?
Yeah, we have a manual for the peer review.
Yes, we have a manual for actually every single positions for the the editors, managing editors, reviewers we have, and those are available on the website. Also, we have a video tutorials how to, and those who sign up here today, you have a second link which tells you to a evaluation portal, and there are 2 videos to watch, each less than 5 minutes, about the review process. Yes, we have a checklist, rubrics, and the video to watch.
And these are very different from journal to journal, maybe.
Correct. We like to make a uniformity across all our open journal access, the gold platform open access. But again,
because we are working in the open access journal, not in that closed one. Yeah. I think there are a lot of focus points that differ from journal to journal. Some are focusing on one component rather than others are focusing on other components, so that we sometimes fall in confusion which components should be taken seriously or appropriately or efficiently. It's a matter like clear here.
Right. We expect reviewers would provide honest feedback in those components of the article, including introduction, abstract, research, lit review, method, conclusion, the references. However, all are we all have a different expertise, different interests. So that's why we pair with 2 or 3 reviewers so that we get a balanced perspective. And on the top of that, you have an editor. Editor will make a decision based on what you said. Let's say if the 3 editors said accept, sometime as an editor, I may make a decision to reject the article because there may not be substance, there may not be quality feedback from my reviewers. So yes, on the top you have an editor to make a final autonomous decision. However, we also honor the feedback provided by our independent evaluators, reviewers. So there is a check and balance process. That's why we said quality rigor is important for any article that we publish in our platform.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear from your side. And the one matter again I like to ask among our colleagues is most of the articles neither be quantitative nor be qualitative. Both are complementary rather than substitute. I think so. And some of the components should be in secondary data. It should match with primary data. These are the which may be the best model for the publication, Bista sir.
That's a great question. I refer to Dr. Raby or Dr. Saleh, our senior editors.
I'm not sure I understood the question.
Yeah, I like to repeat the question. For example, I like to, what's my opinion is, neither an article or neither a journal is qualitative or quantitative. To be a better journal or better article, both components should be, both are complementary rather than substitute. And in the time of writing our article, primary data is not sufficient. It should be matched with secondary data, in my opinion. Primary and secondary, both of the data should be combined, and appropriate statistical tools should be used in the time of processing your data. And what is the best modality in our opinion? I like to ask this question.
There is no, we have 15 different journals, so we don't have a model that fits. It depends on what the article that you're doing and the research or the argument that you're presenting in the article. And my recommendation is for you, and I think Dr. Bista stated that, you need to find a journal that best fit your article and your methodology. Many times that your article will be rejected firsthand by the editor because it doesn't fit the scope or the type of journal articles that the journal publish. So keep that in mind. Also for the reviewers, I'd like to add something. Please go in and type as much description of your qualification, because I want to answer, I see this question on the chat. What are the qualifications? We try to match the articles to the reviewers' qualification, but we need a lot more information from you. So a lot of you do not give us enough information when you put on your application or your web page, like what are your qualifications? Please put more descriptives of what are your qualifications and what's your background, so we best match the article with your skills and expertise, so the reviewers can give you more feedback on your article.
I like to add something, Dr. Saleh.
Please do, Sharif.
Thank you, Dr. Saleh. With Dr. Acharya's question, in our journal, we look for new knowledge. What kind of new knowledge you created? It doesn't depend on the methodology, either qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method. What new knowledge? What is your contribution? Will it impact? Will it attract other researcher or not? We first of all we evaluate this one. How much new knowledge you created with following any methodology. Knowledge is the factor here, not the methodology.
Thank you, Sharif. And here is another great question from my special issue editor. Is it done when editor accept the manuscript, accept the paper? In another word, as an author, are you okay, is everything done when the manuscript is accepted by the journal? The answer is no. Even though the editors and then the reviewers accept your manuscript, there are still few steps, such as copy editing. And also we check the matching case, plagiarism. There are several cases, instances in the past, sometimes author happened to plagiarize some of the content. So unless and until your manuscript, your article appear in the print and online version, or online, if it is online journal, then unless and until it's published, it is not done. There will be several rounds of revision, even after being accepted. And sometimes, in the past, we have rejected several articles even being accepted because we found some flaw. and then author were not willing to make changes. We always constantly provide some feedback, some suggestion to improve the manuscript. If the authors are not willing to work, willing to make changes, as the reviewer suggested, yes, they are declined. It doesn't mean, again, you have to accept every single comment provided by the reviewers. Depending on your manuscript, depending on the nature of the comment you receive from, you always consult with the editor. Editor is your the first person to ask any of these questions. So there is a long process, tedious process. And again, we have to follow all of these guidelines, publication ethics, the protocols. Okay, that's there. And other questions, please, in the chat.
Yeah, can I, Chris, let me answer some of the questions
please.
that I'm seeing on the chat.
Please.
One said, kind of, my university accepts certain journals that got indexed with certain search engines. So my recommendation is, before you submit your article to a journal, go to the journal, find what search index they are listed with, and see if it is acceptable by your university before you submit your article. So that's very easy to do. All the journals have a list of what search engine they're indexed with. So do that before you submit your article.
I really want to echo that. If you're on a tenure track or planning to get on a tenure track, first do the research with your faculty development, tenure and promotion office, whatever office is handling that, and see exactly what they're counting as a peer-reviewed or referred article, what journals they accept or don't accept. I think that's such a great comment. Yep.
Then what I like to add is, probably the global south is the one making things worst. Global south, scholars have the limited resources, and they are challenged. They have the more struggles. Have with the limited resources for the publication, and their deans, provost, or college universities making the publication the worst experience. And they have a high bar with the scopus or the rankings and all these things. My experience in teaching American university and many of my colleagues here is, we don't talk a lot about this ranking or the scopus factors, anything. As long as you have a quality manuscript published, as long as you have done ethically, your committee members, your department, your professor are willing to take it, and we respect that. However, over the years, last 10 years, I have received probably 100,000 emails asking about this ranking and all kind of things. And if you look at the quality of manuscript, sometimes it depresses you. So please continue conversation with your dean, chairs. Tell them that the quality matters, but there are the different parameters to measure the quality of the manuscript, the content, the voice, the substance, all kind of things. And then a couple of colleagues here asking the things, the types of manuscript we publish, depending on the journal, depending on the need of the particular journal, we have published non-empirical essays. For example, in the COVID-19, faculty and students are going through a different panic, different level of panic and horror in our teaching and learning. So we are documenting these experiences of the professor and students in a couple of special issues of the journal, where we do not need any empirical. We like to have the detail, more precise, their experience. So in those cases, yes, many of our essays in the OJED platform, probably you can see non-empirical essays, which is still okay. So look into what they are looking for, and then also ask your editors what you want to publish. So communication probably is important. All right, I'll stop here. And
one common question that several are asking is publication fees an indication of a predatory journal? Well, not necessarily. None of our journals are charging fees. However, there are some journals who charge small amount to cover their processing fees. They might be paying for the DOI number, paying for a copy editor, stuff like that. So they might be charging a small, like I see in $200 or something like that, just to cover their expenses. So my recommendation is to just go on the journal and see what search index they are listed in, and that might be a good indicator that they're legitimate journal. even though they are charging. Also, if they're charging $5,000 and $6,000, I would say that's a red flag.
Right.
Excuse me, can I say a little bit?
Please.
Like, what about some young journals? I think it has good qualities and I'm interested in it, but in no way I can find the corpus or the Shimako index that is required by my institution. And that's how will I deal with this? Because in terms of knowledge, I'm interested in that, but it's quite very young and no indication of its practice from the perspectives of my university. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. And I'd like to address this question. Yes, to go to the scoopers, the journals should be there at least for 2 or 3 years. They need, the publication proof, the quality. So it's a long process. Maybe you can ask the journal if they are around there for 5 or 6 years. You can ask them, did you apply to the scoopers, or what is the status of the scoopers? Many of our journals, including the one we mentioned earlier, some of them are in the queue. They are already with the scoopers. So it's fair to say that journal are in the scoopers, but the metrics are still there. It takes time to get those metrics. For example, Journal of International Student, started in 2010, 11. The Scoopus factors came only in 16. So it took time for them, to get approval. And then in the background, they run these numbers and the citations. So it takes time for them. So not all, but majority of our journals are already in the process, and you can track them where they are in the process.
Thank you. I understand that they are young and just one or 2 years, and we cannot expect it's just a matter of time. But to be practical and a new or novice researcher, what would be a good decision? Run away from that and choose another one, or just send for it just because our interest in terms of knowledge sharing?
Right. And as a professor, as a scholar, maybe you can make a balance as well. It doesn't mean you have to publish always on the top ranking journals. You can balance, and you can also set a policy as a guidelines, as a mentorship to other young generation. Even for many of us here in the room, we have published in the top tier journals, average, and the emerging journal as well. For example, sometimes you publish in a newspaper, and that doesn't count for your tenure, but still you do it, right? Because this is a part of something, a service. So we are not saying you choose our journals. What we are saying is choose a journal that you think fit, appropriate. And our goal is here to guide you through the publication process, provide some opportunity for the review or copy editing those things, and move on. That's all we have. So we are almost on the top of the hours, and we appreciate taking time. And thank you so much. If we have any questions, please feel free to email us, and I will be sending the questions that we receive in the chat room, as well as a copy of the recorded clips. So I end the meeting here, and if you have any other question, I will stay here extra 2 minutes. Any last minute thoughts or any ideas, statement you'd like to say, informal closing remarks, please unmute, and it's a time for you. And we wish you happy.
Thank you.
Stay safe and healthy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your
So
better
I'm looking
message.
forward for your information about the one with Noam Chomsky.
Oh,
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you, Bista. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we will